Okay. We left off page 28. What do you think he's here this morning? He doesn't have to come in. He's coming to Shema.
Because I heard he was going to say something.
Okay. We left off Yud. The Mechaber had said, okay, page 28, Mechaber had said in Yud that if a person was put on a talus or talus cotton and he hadn't said the bracha because his hands weren't clean, when you say the bracha, you should touch the tzitzis. What happens if you're wearing the talus cotton and then you put on talus godel? Then you don't have to touch the tzitzis, because since in fact you're putting on the talus godel, and the talus godel, the bracha that you're saying talus godel, will cover the talus cotton that you hadn't said the bracha prior. Okay, that's the mechaber. Yud yimashim tzitzis. The bezei yichoshiv ktzaski lo sho'oz. Because since you're touching tzitzis, it's as if it has a semblance of putting it on. Vavagav the kaimelon b'chol mitzis. Tzorch l'vorech ovelasi osan mamosh. Even though we say that before you do the mitzvah, you have to say the bracha prior to doing the mitzvah. Hachashayni mishum dakati gabra l'chozi. Here it's difficult because until this moment he wasn't capable of doing the mitzvah. So that's why you're supposed to say the bracha before you do the mitzvah. But here he couldn't do the mitzvah fully because of what? Because his hands weren't clean. But you know what's interesting? What happens if a person forgot to say the bracha? He should have said the bracha, he didn't say the bracha. Slipped his mind. Now he realized he didn't say the bracha. What do? You say the bracha now. So, but before, you were qualified to say the bracha. You still say it. That's what I'm saying. This rationale seems to be not sufficient. Because the halach is, even if you forget to say the bracha, then you afterwards you do say the bracha. And the rationale is like I mentioned yesterday. Because every moment, it's the moment before the next moment. Because every moment you wear tzitzis, you fulfill the positive commandment of wearing tzitzis. I always tell people, certain people who become, Bali Tshuva, even if they were so-called traditional Jews, they have a problem putting on talus cotton. Something, I don't know what it is, psychological. They can't put on a talus. It represents a certain degree of religiosity. They can't do it. They'll become Shabbos observant, putting on a talus cotton, it puts them in another class for some reason. So I say to them, you realize, Yidik Zayis at the Seder. It's not so simple, Yidik Zayis matzah. And what's the value? One mitzvah saseh. Right? You got to chomp on that matzah for whatever it is till you swallow it in a certain volume, and so on and so forth. Here, every moment you wear those tzitzis, it's another mitzvah saseh, continuously, throughout the day. It's like the national debt. That's how quick it goes. Right? Every single moment, it's a mitzvah saseh. I mean, what you're giving up, besides the shmir aspect. You have tzitzis, it's a shmira. It protects you from doing averos. He says, today the minhag, we don't say a bracha on the talus cotton. It's speaking when you're putting on within a reasonable time period. We have in mind, we put on talus godel to cover the talus cotton. Vochi odev tvei, mashen ognis anoshim, shem bevorch al talus cotton, v'teikem vorch al talus godel. People, let's say you daven at home. People daven at home, they don't go, no one day special. They didn't go to shul during the week. Whether they live in the village, there wasn't a minyan, or they had to travel. So what they daven at, they put on talus cotton, and right away they put on talus godel. They would say a bracha on talus cotton. They're doing the wrong thing. It's like a bracha she'eina tzricha. It's a not necessary bracha, because if you're putting basically within almost the same time period, you should have in mind that the large talus, right, absolves you from the lesser. What they're doing is a bracha, it's an unnecessary bracha. He says many times the size of the talus cotton is not sufficient. Right? It has to be a certain minimum size. Then pasuach rubo, he says it may not be open fully. It has to be open on the sides. Odu cotton me'ashir kavur lekamon sim tezayin. Odu yoshin obalaylo. He says you may have put it on too early, right? You may have put it on too early, or maybe, let's say you slept with it. People, they sleep with the talus cotton. They wake up in the morning and say, bracha on talus cotton. It's not so simple, right? Since you've been wearing it, You don't say a bracha. Kit'll come on Sif Tezayin, Mishna Berura.
Like Mekayim, that's a night if you sleep in.
Well, there's a question whether you're obligated on if it's a day garment. It's a day garment you wear at night. It's an argument whether you're obligated to put tzitzis on it, right?
Day garment wearing, what about a night garment wearing at night?
At night, everybody agrees not. Everybody agrees. A night garment, night, four corners, definitely not. You're not obligated. You're not obligated. A night garment during the day, that's the same argument, because you're wearing it at a time that you can see the tzitzis. Is it the time period that determines the obligation, or it's the designation of the garment, being a day garment versus a night garment? That's machlokas, the Rambam and the Rosh. So we're machmir by both. Okay?
What would be the time period if you put it on at 4 o'clock? I mean, we don't put on our gadol until 7:30. Is that too much of a hefsek?
Well, first of all, when you put it on 4, you're not able to say the bracha.
Right.
But let's say in the summertime, you put it on 3 hours before you daven.
Okay.
And you know you're wearing a talus cotton, which is definitely the size and it's kosher. You definitely should say a bracha, if you normally say a bracha. If you normally say a bracha, you should say the bracha.
What is the time? How long? What is the minimum time necessary to make a bracha? An extra bracha?
I'd say if it was half an hour for sure, you should say a bracha.
Half hour.
Before you're going to put on your talus gadol.
Because
Let's say in the summertime, after we change the clock in the summer. So it's maybe 2
yeah,
hours.
it's a lot more than a half hour.
No, definitely. Well, now it's
No, I'm talking about in the summer.
summer, definitely. If you normally would say a bracha on your talus cotton, if let's say you would put on a new talus cotton, you should say a bracha. You should say a bracha before you come.
But
Definitely.
if you don't say, you can. If you don't,
But you still have, when you put talus gadol on, if you don't, you have in mind to cover the talus gadol.
Yeah.
That's why I do it. I never say bracha on my talus gadol, ever. Even if I put on one before Shabbos, a new one, I don't say bracha on it. So I always have in mind when I put on talus gadol to cover my talus gadol for that reason.
so then, how does that work before Shabbos?
I don't say bracha. I don't have anything to cover it.
There's nothing to cover.
Nothing to cover
You
it.
can't say the morning.
No, definitely not.
This cover
No, of course not.
later.
No, of course not. Of course not. No, definitely not. Correct. The minimum is 18 by 18. 18 by 18 is the minimum, but you have to have there's many. I don't, that's why I don't. Some say that, yeah, it has to be very, very big. Very large.
Wouldn't it make more sense though, to make the bracha of the talis katan, because you don't take that off. You
Has
take
nothing
the
to do with
talis
it.
gadol off. Why
No,
would-
but you're putting it on before. Talus gadol is not a question that you say bracha. No, not in terms of its shear, right? In terms of the size, not even the question. You have to say a bracha on it. Covers the majority of your body.
Isn't that the talis katan also then?
I'm saying the whole discussion whether talus cotton you say a bracha or not.
Right.
Is it large enough? Nobody argues talus gadol. A person who has a proper talus gadol is definitely large enough.
So that's the issue, whether.
That's why it's better. That's why it's better. And not only that, in terms of hidur, you're doing the mitzvah. It's a more elaborate mitzvah talus gadol than talus cotton.
Even though you're taking talis gadol off in an hour after you put it
Doesn't
on.
make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. It's the same mitzvah. Same mitzvah. Okay, now. Iker mitzvahs talus cotton love show al begodov. Yeah, this is by Hasidim. They wear the garment on top of their clothing. You know, in Israel especially, in many of them, they wear vests. Hasidim wear vests. So they wear the talus gadol cotton under the vest. It's on top of their shirt, under the vest. So it's on their clothing. Doesn't mean on the most outer garment, but it's on top of their clothing, on top of the shirt. They wear the arba canvas. Okay? Okay, this is a little difficult. So you should continuously see it, because there's a risim also. So it's a risim also, you don't have to wear the garment. What has to be the garment? Let it be the tzitzis. The tzitzis not being in your pants, okay, you see it. But what it tells us gadol? Why the garment itself, right? What I'm saying, so it's really, it's a tzitzis. It's seeing the tzitzis. There was a story not many years ago. Somebody came to Rebbe Yoshev's grandson and said he's willing to pay $18,000 if Rebbe Yoshev will give him his tzitzis. And what's that, Rebbe Yoshev's tzitzis? Okay, to have the schus. Rabbi Yosef wore the tzitzis. He should have his talus kot, not his talus golem, not his large talus. The chutz, he wouldn't have a chutz pass for his talus golem. Well, talus kot, he has a number. His weekday, his Shabbos one, whatever one he wore, he would like to have it. So they went to Rabbi Yosef. And what do you do? And the money should go to tzedakah. Rabbi Yosef could do whatever he wants with the money, but Rabbi Yosef was not taking himself. We'll give it to tzedakah. So the person comes. So his grandson makes the request. Rabbi Yosef laughs. So what's the value of my talus cotton? He does the mitzvah. He's welcome to take it. $18,000 for tzedakah, of course. So this person thinks he has the ultimate prize that he paid $18,000 for. Rabbi Yosef's talus cotton. Okay. But Rabbi Yosef also, he wore his talus cotton on top of his shirt. Rabbi Yosef, did he wear a vest? Not always. No, he wore it directly on top of his shirt. Did not wear a vest.
Straight on your body.
What?
Straight.
Well, we'll see. If it's the sea, the main thing is the strings. There's no disrespect. We'll see. The Mishna Berura says to have the springs touch your skin, your flesh, it's a disrespect. It's not respectful. Because even if you wear your tzitzis in your pants, he says you should tuck it in around your belt, the inner belt. The string should not hang down on your feet. Because since it's an object used for a mitzvah, it's a disrespect to have the tzitzis hanging on your legs. So, but the beged, the garment, it's a regular garment. Torah says you wear a four-corner garment, you should put tzitzis. What's the object of the mitzvah? The object of the mitzvah is the tzitzis, not the garment. The garment is the cause of the obligation. So it doesn't, you can wear tzitzis on your, without, even if you're not wearing an undershirt. Or you have tzitzis, which the garment is the undershirt. It's not a problem. Those tzitzis with the undershirt, I'll tell you what the problem is. Even if they're open, the majority on the side, the majority has to be open. The question, who makes those tzitzis? You know, that's the question. No, the beged doesn't make a difference. Who? A Chinaman could have made the beged, right? Doesn't make a difference. But the question is, if the tzitzis are not made by a child, it's made with a machine. Who knows who made it? Well, because it has to be made. We'll see later with an intent. When you say it, it has to be made for the sake of the mitzvah of tzitzis. And if the person doesn't have that in mind, it has no value whatsoever. And what are the quality of those strings? Take a look at the strings. It's not a quality. If you buy tzitzis, the strings without the garment, a pair of strings, quality strings, minimally $10, $15. The strings without the garment. Why are they so expensive? It's because, firstly, it's the quality of the wool, the way it's spun, and also the intent when it was originally manufactured. Because not only does the tzitzis have to be made when you put in the garment lishma, when they're spun and twisted, that also has to be done lishma. So the question is, what is the mindset of those who did it? No, it's definitely maybe not whatsoever, but definitely inferior mindset. No, not a machine. We'll get to that.
They do come with the same card that when you buy tzitzis, regular stuff, where it's like stapled on.
It meets a minimum standard. No, it meets a minimum standard. A minimum standard it meets.
Right.
But qualitatively speaking,
Right.
you know, you can buy yourself a $150 suit, right? You won't. Why? You know, but it covers your body. Why not? The answer, because it's not quality. So when it comes to kedusha, spirituality, you know, you should also look for quality.
Right. Tomorrow.
The auction looks blacked out. He bought it. Interesting. You know, Reb Kiva, when he passed away, you know, Reb Kiva, even when he was alive, Kiva was the father of the Sam Sofer. When his yarmulke would wear out, you know what he would do with it? Put it in Shemus. What? He put it in Shemus. Why? Because Reb Kiva, his mind and every aspect of his being was totally always involved in Torah. It's Kedusha. That's what he would do. He put it in Shemus. Wasn't the guy, so we say that's pretty arrogant. It's not arrogant. That was his reality. I'm not saying he made it public knowledge, but it was known. When it would wear out, that's where he would put it in Shemus.